Hi, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for coming back. Today's topic is going to be about happiness, and I wanted to do this video because a couple days ago it was super nice out, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go outside and maybe read a book, and I decided to bring this book, which a family friend gave to me for Christmas, and I completely forgot about it because it was just on my bookshelf, and I'm like, I'll just take it, I don't have something to read right now, so I just wanted to flip through it. And I went to the park and I sat down and started reading it. 100 pages later, I'm like, this is a great book, and I decided to make my next video about it. It's called The Little Book of Luca, Secrets of the World's Happiest People, and I'll link a little attachment at the bottom if anybody wants to read them themselves. But I wanted to make a video about this because a lot of it made sense, and I just wanted to share it with everybody else. And happiness, I feel like I've always strived to be happy from a pretty young age. Just being happy seemed like the best case scenario for my life. And I remember this, or not reading, but listening to this radio. I was pretty young, probably 15 or something, and it was a quote by John Lennon, and he said when he was super young, he was in school, and the teacher asked him to write down what they wanted to be when they grew up, and he wrote down happy. And of course the teacher came over and was like, oh, John, you didn't understand the question. And then later on he wouldn't say, he did understand the question and that she was the one who didn't understand the question. And I love that quote, and I think about it all the time. And when others ask me what I want to do when I grow up or what I want to do, after I graduate, I always want to say, I want to be happy, but I know they're not, asking me that question, so I don't. So this book is by Meik Wiking, who is the CEO of the Happiness Research Institute, and in his mid-30s, he was just kind of doing his regular job, and he decided to quit it and go around the world and research happiness. And Denmark is known to be one of the world's happiest countries, so he went there first and for years studied kind of why they're so happy. And this book has 6 different chapters, and the 6 chapters are about togetherness, money, health, freedom, trust, and kindness. And when I was reading this book, I just kind of highlighted different parts to share with you guys, and different parts that just stood out to me and made sense, and so hopefully this will help anybody that's watching it. So the first chapter is about togetherness, and basically that chapter was just about our need to feel a sense of community and belonging and a sense of home, basically. And that definitely makes sense to me. And I think one of the things that I have been saying, especially these past few years, is that, I just want to feel like I belong in a place, and I don't know if Bellingham or Western is that place, but that definitely made sense in my head when I read it. Another part was about how companionship is really important, and just having a sense of just having people in your life that you can depend on, basically. A companion is actually the Latin word for with whom one shares bread. And in this chapter it kind of talks about meals, when people, especially in French cultures, it's very common to have meals with your entire family. It's a tradition, every single day you do that. And yeah, I wrote down in my notes, eat like the French, eat with each other. And then socially, of course, just people who are more social more often than everybody else are always happier. And human happiness, fulfillment of our longing for love, friendship, and community. And again, that definitely makes sense. And I think one of the things Mike was saying in his book was, think of some happy memories that you had, throughout your life, and more often than not, it's always with other people or a group of people, and I can definitely relate to that. A lot of my happy memories are always with people. And then lastly on that chapter was about how technology is really the illusion of connection without intimacy, and that reducing your use of technology could definitely make you happier. And that's definitely something I am going to try to do. I have to do school on my computer, and obviously YouTube is all online, but I think I want to reduce my social media intake and just kind of be more aware of that. The second one is money. I didn't have too much to say about this just because it's kind of about your career and all that, and I'm not really in that stage of my life yet, so I don't have a lot to connect or compare with that. But in the book it says that expectations can be a source of joy, just meaning that having something to look forward to is really important. And that, I feel like that could be sometimes hard to do for a lot of people. I noticed for me but recently I've been just trying to make kind of plans for the next couple months, so I have something I have something to look forward to. And then this one, I really like this idea, is to have a happiness account, like a bank account for adventures that you want to take, and just set some money aside, each month. It could be a little bit, but you can name in your happiness account, and at the end of the year, at the end of the month, go do something that will give you good memories. And another thing about the money chapter is that making experiences is a lot more important and can feed into your happiness than just buying something that's gonna make you happy for a couple months and then you forget about it. And that, I feel like I struggle more with that because usually things are cheaper than going on a trip, but I could have saved all my money up from last year or something. Instead of buying this or that, I could have saved it up and went to Canada or something. So I highly recommend that, and that's something I really want to do. And then there's a quote on page 93 that I really want to read to you guys. 1 second. Page 93. The quote is, we are spending money we don't have to buy stuff we don't need to impress people we don't like. And I just kind of thought it was a funny quote because it's very true. I feel like, especially just in the 21st century, everybody is, trying to be better than somebody else. And so yeah, it's a good quote. The third chapter is about health, both mental health and physical health. And most of the chapter was about how the Danish love bicycling and how there's more bicycles there than cars, and basically everybody just kind of rides around. And Meik Wiking, kind of asked them why do you do it, what's the main reason? And they're just it's just more convenient, which it is, and it's a lot cheaper, obviously better for the environment. But they do it all, they go to work like that, they go to a party or something like that, and obviously it's very good for your physical health and your mental health because you're getting a lot of exercise out of that. Another thing for your health, obviously, just walking and exercising, particularly in nature, which I find it hard to do. I'm not, I like nature, but I'm not the biggest nature person. I've just had bad experiences with it. But if you do love nature, I highly recommend doing that. And then I have another quote to share, page 157. And this one's a good one. There's I think every 2 chapters it gives a little happiness tip, which is really nice. And it's about talking about mental health, which is what I want to do for my channel, but I know it's really hard for a lot of people, and for many years I really didn't want to talk about it. It's just uncomfortable, and I didn't think others would understand. but apparently there's a website, mentalhealth.gov. If you need it, just some advice to start a conversation with family and friends about your mental health. And I'll link that down below too if anybody wants to check that out. Because like I said, it's really difficult to talk about. So if you need some help, there is resources. Is chapter 4, which is freedom. And it gives you a little 5 ways to free up your time. And with work and school and just life, I feel like a lot of people just get super busy and don't have time to themselves or time to just be, basically. But this book gives you 5. The first one is to cook more than you need. And I do this a lot because I just don't want to cook every single day, so I make big portions so I have a lot of food for a week, and I can just eat it whenever I need to. Next one is to use slack time. Basically, when you're waiting at the dentist or an appointment, you have 5-10 minutes to use that time to use Duolingo, which is a second language app where you can learn Spanish or something. But basically just use those little 5-10 minutes between your day to improve yourself on something. The third one is to 2-in-1 is what it's called, and that's basically the example they give is if you want to socialize but you also want to be exercising, you can walk with your friends instead of grabbing coffee and just sitting down talking for a couple hours. You could also get exercise and be with your friends. Fourth one is to tie yourself to the mast, and this one basically means just less technology use, and that tons of research has been done that people who use Facebook and Instagram and any other social media and just browsing on the internet are much happier. So why not try it? And then last one is to apply Parkinson's law, which basically give yourself 20 minutes clean up, instead of being okay, today I want to clean, I want to do this, I want to do that, but say okay, today between 2 and 2:30 I want to clean, and then between 3 and 4 I want to do this. And giving yourself that kind of time limit makes it much easier to get that task done in that time limit. So those are the 5 ways to get more freedom in your life. Next one is trust. And again, I have another quote for this one. This quote is from a 2015 report on world happiness, and that was, a successful society is one in which people have a high level of trust in each other. And then another quote under that is just, people who trust other people are happier. So I feel like that's also hard for me to do, but if I get better at it, I will be happier. So that's something I definitely want to work on. And then I have another quote for trust, and it's a happiness tip, again at the end of the chapter, and it's on to training your empathy muscle. And it reads, if you listen to people's stories, you may find that you might have made some of the same choices if you had lived their life rather than yours. And basically, again, just to be more empathetic. And there's a couple book suggestions they give, and one of them is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, which is one of my favorite books. So I highly recommend reading that. And then the last chapter is about kindness. And again, I have another quote for this one. And it reads, we are wired to feel good when we do something that makes our species survive. And the kindness chapter is a lot about volunteering and just kind of doing things for others. And in Denmark, they are very well known for just having a really big community of people that are constantly just trying to do things for other people. So yeah, those are the 6 chapters of the book. I hope everybody enjoyed the video, and like I said, this is a great book, and I'll link it down below if you guys want to get it and read it for yourselves. So thank you. Bye.